Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday, Monday. We're about to get underway. All of this rhyming stuff probably giving your mind a little bit of craziness going on. In any event, we are here, you are there. Let's get started. Oh, thanks for showing up today. It's so nice of you to join us. To get started, cheers. We're going to get started today. We're going to come to the front part of our mats. We're going to bring our feet together because togetherness is so good. Now, as we set our togetherness motif, I'd like you to kind of orient your mind around how your body feels today and what kind of effort we want to expend, and I want you to honor how your body feels as we go through this practice. Just take our knees and straighten them so you can almost feel a little bit of tension in the back. And take your hips. Now, before we move them, I'd like you to engage that six-pack muscle. Just like I'm going to punch you in the belly, make it nice and engaged, strong, thick, supported. Crowd out your chest and then push your hips forward. Feel a little bit of opening through that front system of muscle. That's great. You're going to put your palms right on top of those hips of yours. And I want you to just gently massage, circle in and out, forward, up and down. Get a little bit of blood flow and awareness of that region. Now, as I asked you to thrust forward, you probably felt some muscles start to engage, primarily the hamstrings and also your gluteals, as we kept that six-pack muscle strong, right? So I'm going to draw your shoulders up. I'm going to open your palms to face forward, and we're going to corkscrew the hands. We're going to rotate the thumbs internally, then externally, then internally, and do that a few more times. Play around with it a little bit, see if the range of motion can increase. Notice how it's kind of opening up through the shoulders, chest. There's some blood flow coming into those muscles. And I'm going to hold open the palms so they face away from the body. You're going to take a deep breath in, bring them up shoulder height, and then sweep the arms together, bringing forearms and baby fingers to touch. Now, that nice opening you feel across the back, we're going to come back and visit that again. To do that, we're going to spread wide. And now use the thumbs as a mechanism to pull the arms backwards. But in the same time, use your fingers to pull the arms long. And then come back. Feel that nice opening across the back. Circling up the tray. Now draw the elbows in, trace your rib cage with them, pull all the way through. Keep those palms facing at the sky as you attempt to squeeze your shoulders or your elbows together. Now, take a big inhale. On the exhale, draw your hips back while you keep those knees straight. Begin to fold down and then come back up. Now, the range of motion here, we're going to work on this. So as you fold down and come back up, each attempt to go down, I'd like you to get a little more depth if it's possible. Excuse me. Now, let's hold up. And I want you to be in observance of the next fold down. If we fold down, if your elbows start to rotate away from the center line of the body, I want you to make a better effort to try to keep them together. So let's try that again. Pull the butt back, elbows pull together, fold down, get as much depth as you can. Keeping those legs locked out, if you will, coming all the way back up, and see if the range can increase. One more time as we go through this. Checking in with our elbows, checking in with the spine, keeping it nice and long as best we can. As we come back up, serve those arms back out. Baby fingers, forearms touch, palms facing the sky now, widely separate. So how wide? As wide as you can get them. Make them wide, 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 and then draw back, trace, pull back, squeeze together, fold forward. And this time, let the fingers drop towards the earth. Rotate the palms so that they face onto the earth. Or down at the earth. If you want a more grammatically correct version. As you inhale, extend back. As you exhale, keep the back in extension and drift that booty backwards. You notice now that, hopefully, the sensation of weight in the feet feels primarily in the heels. Keep the back extending as you inhale, and as you exhale, let the back just fold, round in. Oh, get that nice blood flow to the head. As you inhale, extend. As you exhale, Bring your palms to the earth, like stepping your feet backwards. So basically, I'm trying to say, step into plank pose. And we all welcome this weight-bearing posture. It's a prone position, which means we're facing the earth. We're going to use the arms now to help push and elevate the upper body, which means our shoulder capsules are coming to the front part of our body. And then we're going to let the chest kind of drift in between the arms. And that exterior rotation on the shoulders itself, kind of get a nice leveling of the body. Pull the head long. Take your heels, drive them backwards. Drive them towards the earth. Get that nice extension through the knees or the back thereof. Now let's take your belly button and pull it up and into the spine. And give me some flexion for the spine itself. Almost like you have a spring tied to the center part of the back, lifting to the sky. And then as you inhale, extend everything straight, come down onto the knees. Walk your hands back and separate your knees to the width of the mat. And flip your feet so the tops are on the mat. Begin to open through those long, strong shin muscles. We're going to draw the hips backwards and gently lower down. Take your time with this, right? There's a lot of opening to happen here. You know, when we sit for long periods of time, those muscles we're stretching right now, they shorten up. So we're going to give them a little opportunity to be lengthened out. While we're beginning to enjoy that lengthening through those shin muscles, the anterior tibialis is what they're called here. Everyone to know, even though I've only mentioned it 50,000 times. Walk your hands forward, separate the fingers widely. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, make sure your back goes to extension. Almost like you're crowding out the chest as you face down at the earth. And you feel the recruitment of muscle up and along the upper spine. You're kind of getting this right now. As you release the next breath, let's come off the hips, let's take the hips off the heels, come up onto the knees, step your hands back in, and now let's take the toes, tuck them under as we step our feet out as wide as our knees to the edges of the mat, if you will, or if you can, if it's possible. Now we're going to practice pushing through the earth, which is really this inward rotation of the shoulder capsules. And then we're going to take our chest and drop it in between the arms. And we're going to hold that chest dropped in between the arms. We're going to take our elbows and spiral them in towards the center line of the body. And as you do so, I'd like you to take your tailbone, flip it to the sky slowly, as you do the same with the back of the head. You're going to pull the back of the head high as you rotate that tailbone. And now I'd like you to engage your six-pack muscle and reverse this, kind of like you're getting a rounding through the back now. Let the head descend towards the earth. And you're kind of taking your pubis bone, tucking it under. Take a big breath in. It should feel a little more challenging because we've got a real constriction through there. Now, as you release it, extend the back. Pull the back of the head high to the sky. Take your tailbone, roll it up. Now, fill the lungs with air. Hold the breath, hollow out the belly, and reverse. Blow out the air now. And let's do this for a few more repetitions. Chest descending through the arms, back of the head, tail flipping to the sky. Arms pushing chest away from earth and head lowering as tailbone tucks under. And then come back to neutral spine. Let's take your left foot, slide it along the mat. So the toes are just sliding back. And now we have a 3.5 point stance, really. When you think about it. So we have our toes touching, hands, and our right knee. Good stuff, right? Now, take your left foot and lift it up into the air. And then lower it down. Bring the knee back in and extend it at the opposite leg. Push it back. Lift it up. Bring it back in. So let's alternate side to side. And as we continue through this alternation, I like to be mindful of maintaining lateral stability. So I want you to try to avoid shifting left or right as we elevate the legs and as we make the movement of the legs happen. I want you to minimize that shift of left or right of your body. As you practice this a few more times, you might find you get a little better at it. Now, let's everyone meet on all fours. Let's float the knees and let's lift the hips up and back to a really narrow stance, down dog. If you're straining, pull your head through your arms, don't do that. Let's work on decompressing the body. Let it feel relaxed, even though there is effort being exerted through it. If you can now, drive the heels to the earth, and if they get there good, no, they don't, that's good too. Try to straighten the legs. Try to keep the legs straight and pull your butt to the sky. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. And remain in that folded position. Let's take the hands off the earth. And let's reach around and grab opposite elbow. And then work on spinal extension. Or spinal decompression. Work, just let that everything kind of lengthen out. Allow your body permission to kind of explore. Be a little playful today. Now let's rock backwards slowly and forward slowly. You can kind of check in with your body as we do this. There's a lot of things going on that your brain subconsciously registers. I want you to bring a consciousness to it, like how the weight transfer feels between the front and back of foots. I'd like you to explore the range of how far forward you can move and how far back. And then I get to find a balance between the two, where you feel what's normal for your body. There's equal weight between the front and back of the foot. And as you find that, I'd like you to bring your palms onto the shins and externally rotate the elbows. And then take your shoulders and try to pull them away from the midline of the body. And this is about tension-free decompression, if you will, of the body. So if you're tensing up through the neck, make these movements, I'd like you to keep it relaxed. Grow the spine. Now keep the elbows rotated externally as you initiate pressure, push, if you will. Put the palms into the shins as you grow the spine. Inhale. Keep the spine in extension. See if you can bend the knees. Kind of like a ski jumper about to explode off the bottom of that jump. We're not going to explode though. So I'm going to push your hips back to the sky. Upper body folds. Let the head drop down. Make sure we're remaining decompressed as we keep those palms pushing. Knees bend again. Spine remains in extension. And this time we're going to elevate. Take the hands, reach forward. Rotate the palms to face. As you inhale, rise up. Sweep up the hands, reach for the sky, fill those lungs. As you exhale, bring hands over hearts. Good morning. Feel like I'm all talked up, blah, 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 right? Good stuff. Sound bites. Let's take the right foot, step it forward. We're high in the toes. Again, alignment makes the difference in muscle use. Correct? Yes. So, heel as best you can, points upwards, not in or up. Let's take that front leg. I'd like you to bend the knee, and I'd like you to take the knee and push forward of the toes. And then do the exact opposite. So use the ball of the big toe, the front foot, so the anchor point, as you extend that right leg straight. Take the back heel, the left heel, drive it to the earth. Push back up into the toes. Let the knee push forward and lower down. And then rise it back up. Ride that heel. And alternate or oscillate in this case. Kind of moving like a wave forward and back. So let's hold up. Keep the heel up. Take your arms, extend them forward. Interlock the fingers, make those arms nice and long. So we have a nice little cup-like action in our hands. Let's take the left heel, drive it to the earth. Let's take the right heel, push it into the earth. Now, let's take the ball of the left foot and the heel of the right foot and try to pull those 2 points together. And if you felt your hammy kind of kick up a little bit, good. Let's keep that tension as you lean in a little more. We put some emphasis into our gluteals here as we keep an active tension in the hamstring. While we keep that all active and that pull together, let's take a rotation to the right, come back center, and do that a couple more times, slowly. All right, now, as we come back center, release the hands, fold down over the front leg, and take the right hand and step it inside the right foot. Now, for me, I can step back a little bit with my left. I'm going to bring my left knee to the earth. As we come into, I think it's called lizard pose. Yes. And I'm going to take my right foot. I'm going to try to step it forward so that my ankle aligns close to my knee, like underneath it something. Not too far back, not too far forward. We're going to rock and roll forward and back. So I'd like you to take your hands and walk them up just so that they're just around the toes. And I'd like you to take your upper body and extend the spine. And as you do so, I'd like you to kind of drift forward the hips so that this is allowing our knee to kind of push forward towards the toes. And I'd like you to drift backwards. As you pull back, I'd like you to bring as much straightness to the front leg. Flex the foot as you come back. Plant the foot as you move forward. So we oscillate between forward and back. Now you can play around with the positioning of the foot and the knee, whatever gives you optimal range of motion. Now we're going to hold in a neutral spot, whatever that feels like for you. Now I'd like you to take the right knee and push it into your side body. In my case, it's the arm. So we're going to push forward with the knee pushing in, and we're going to draw back with the knee pushing in. And you're going to feel a little subtly, keeping that knee inwardly oriented in this push, all the way forward, and then all the way back. And then come back to that neutral spot. Step your right hand outside of the left. Step that right foot back. Come up into plank. Resituate yourself. Pull up and back to down dog. Drive the heels into the earth. Pull your hips high to the sky. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Inhale, extend to the flat back. Exhale, fold back down. As you unfold, sweep and salute the sun. As you exhale and bring hands back over heart, take your left foot and step it forward. Oh, that was so well executed. Now, just take that front leg, ball of big toe, driving to the earth. Take the leg and bring some straightness to it. There we go. Now, we're going to take that left knee and we're going to drive it forward. Should feel a nice opening over that right hip. We're going to drive back, pushing through the ball of that big toe. When we hit the top spot, I'd like you to drive that left heel to the earth, and I'd like you to take the right heel and drive it down into the earth. And then push up into the tippy toes, and then move forward, and then backwards. Executing different push points when they feel appropriate for your body. Pushing from the ball of the big toe to initiate, from the heel when you're tall, driving the heel to the earth, bring straightness to the back leg, bring it back forward. If we reach this neutral point, let's hold on. Extend the arms forward. Drive the heel down. Up. Push forward. I think I forgot something here, but I can get you and work through this. Back up. Lower back down. We interlock the fingers. There we go. Pushing back forward. Rising back up. Heel driving down. One more time through. And then we come up. We hold tall. We drive through the heel of that front foot. And we take the ball of the right toe and the heel of that left foot. And I like you to pull together and keep that pull as you rotate left and come back center. Unrelenting. Trying to pull 2 points together in our feet. And on the third rotation, come back center. Release the hands. Hold over that front. Woo. That doesn't mess that up. I don't know about now. Step the left hand inside the left foot. Reposition your feet so that you have the ability to oscillate forward and back. Knee up or knee down. I'm going to bring my right knee down, just like I did with my left knee. I'm going to push forward the knee. And then I'm going to pull back and extend that left leg. Flexing the foot. Coming back forward slowly. We haven't brought that inward rotation of the leg in yet. That's our progression. Let's do this a few more times. So you can increase the range of motion. How much far forward can you get? How much farther back can you get? Find a neutral spot and let's begin the inward push. Take the left knee, push it in, keep it rotating internally as you come forward. Keep it rotating internally as you draw up. Increases in range of motion. Really increases the measure of joint mobility. And as we vascularize tissue, blood flows, right, we should be able to experience a little more range of motion, barring any unforeseen circumstances like injury and stuff like that. All right, let's come back to neutral. Step the left hand outside of the left foot. Step that left foot back. Back to our plank pose. Pull your hips up and back to down dog. Up to the tippy toes. Heels drive to the earth. Hands walk to the feet. Keep it at boldest spot. You inhale, extend. Keep the extension, grip the hips backwards. As you unhinge the body, swing the arms and salutes. And bring hands back over hearts. Nice. Take the right foot, step it forward. Oh, nice landing. That's felt a lot better. Now, distance and separation. Distance apart and separation of left and right. I like you to find a nice spot where you're stable and feel relatively balanced away, front foot, back foot, with enough separation where from side to side we have stability also. Now with hands over hearts, you can hold here. And then I'd like you to take your right heel and the left big toe and pull them together. So you kind of feel a lot of muscle interaction with those upper legs. You might have felt that left hip kind of kick in a little bit. Keeping that nice activation. Bring your body to lean slightly forward and then extend the hands to the sky. So I have a ceiling fan above, which is why I'm being careful as I reach it. Now, keeping this, I'd like you to bring length to the spine and kind of extend the upper body. We're kind of drifting higher and backwards. Yikes. Try to maintain your balance. Pull high, the arms. Now, take a big breath in, row, exhale, fold forward. Take that left heel, drive to the earth. I needed to step my left foot in a little bit.
You come into a pyramid-like pose, camel. You might also be full row, your spine, and the upper body. Fold over that front leg. Enjoy the nice leg. I have to correct this a lot. I like drifting to the right side. It's kind of not necessarily optimal movement patterns. So I like to try to find balance between left and right. And then take another big breath. See if you can sink just a little more. And as you inhale this time, extend to the flat back. Bring your hands up onto your thighs. You're tabletopping the back. We're going to take that right heel, left toe, try to pull together as we raise the upper body to the standing position. And then powering off the front to step backwards. So, all right. So much fun on that side. Let's do it on the opposite side. Step forward. Nice landing. Beautiful. Bring some straightness to the legs. Take the left heel and the ball of the right big toe. Pull them together. Beautiful. That's me and slightly. I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I apologize. Oh yeah, extend the arms upwards. Beautiful. Now, we're really trying to maintain that execution of pull between front and back as we continue to lengthen the spine and extend and grow, using the fingers to pull body up from the earth. Take a big inhale. Exhale, fold over that front leg. Reposition that back foot to have both feet flat to the floor. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep that back in extension as you let the upper body drift down. Play with it a little bit. Use some breathing. Remember the orientation of weights. Yeah, let your head fall. Exactly. Just relax, hang on. Take another couple breaths. And then when you're ready, plant your palms on the mat. Step that left foot back. Reposition the right foot as we come into plank pose. Take the back of the head, pull it to the sky. Take the chest, drift it in between the arms. Take the elbows, rotate them into the center line of the body, and make sure that they don't lock out, not stacking joints. Now, pull your hips up and back. Pull your hips high to the sky as you drive your heels hard to the earth. And then when you're ready, lower down onto the knees. Yeah. Take your knees to the width of the mat. Lift your feet. So the tops of your feet are contacting the mat. And while you keep upright somewhat, I'd like you to drift back. And I like to use some support. So we're not putting a lot of weight into the knees. That can be somewhat daunting for a lot of people, myself included. And, you know, the knees has a lot of fine or intricate little tendons and muscles. We want to make sure we're not overloading. So I want you to weight there in your arms best you can. Yeah. So I just want you to focus now on getting that nice release over your anterior tibialis, that front leg muscle, shin muscle. And again, I'm offsetting my weight and my arms to kind of move forward and back. Very low pressurization in the knee. All right, so I think we got a pretty good stretch in that muscle. You're gonna come forward, bring your hands forward, flip your feet so you're now toes tucked. And we're gonna float the knees. And we're gonna just rotate our bear. So I'd like you to clockwise rotate. I'm gonna float and rotate. And then reverse the rotation. And bring it to a stop.
Let's take your right arm, step it forward into the midline of the mat, and then bring your right hip down onto the mat. I'm going to position my knee forward of the hip, my right knee that is forward of the hip. I'm going to take my left leg and extend it backwards. So I'm going to use this nice support. If you need cushioning for your elbow, if your mat doesn't provide that for you, grab a towel. Ease in your body. You can do the same thing with your hip. Fold the mat if you need. Now, when you're ready, I'd like you to take your left foot, flex it, and I'd like you to lift it up and into the air. With your leg straight, of course, yeah. Because we straighten out that leg. We're driving the heel out as we lift the leg up. And then lower down, point the toes, flex the foot, drive at the heel, leg straight, lift up, lower, point, flex, drive, lift. Do that a couple more times. And then everyone, let's meet with that leg held up. And then let's take your right arm, step it down to lie down the body. And I'm going to keep that leg elevated. It's going to allow us to lift it a little higher off the earth, but still probably the angle of rotation, roughly the same. I like you to pulse up and down the hip. I'm going to use my hand to support my head. And then I'm going to rock my hips backwards. And then I'm going to bring them upwards. And then I'm going to try to rotate them forward as I continue to pulse the leg. Try to keep the legs straight. I know our compensatory type of behavior will have us wanting to bend our knee, but I'd like you to try to keep that leg nice, long, strong, as we pulse up and down and feel those muscles go, oh my goodness, it's crushing me. All right, let's bring it to a stop. Lower down, take a breather, pull that left knee up and into the chest. Extend that left leg back down. And then roll over on your backside, and then all the way over onto the left side. And let's start the process opposite side. Slight bend or bend in the knees forward, the hips, that right leg. We're going to extend out with the heel, lift up and lower. Lift. So it's really a driving of the heel as we lift up the leg. Point the toes as your foot lands on the floor. Flex the foot, drive and lift. Point and flex, drive and lift. Keep it going, enjoy the journey. All right, so let's hold that foot down. Let's lower down. Keep that leg driving straight, lift, lower. We're going to pulse in a little bit, Kirsten. I know she wants to get the exercise done already. It's killing my left hip. It's killing my right hip. I know. What do whiners get? Remember we used to tell our kids that all the time? Yeah. All right, so let's fold up. So as we pulse, I'm going to move forward and backward the hips. So we have a lot going on. That's moving the leg. I want you to move your hip. Keep the legs pointing straight back down, and the hip rolls forward and backwards. You're doing a different exercise. We can do that one a different day. All right, let's lower it all the way down. Pull that right knee up and into the chest. Beautiful. Extend it all the way back out. Come back up onto your forearms as we rotate onto the front side of the body. Step the legs back. Coming into our low plank. So much fun. Going up off the knees. Now we're going to lower the knees down. So we have an 8-point plank thing going on. I'd like you to step back the knees today. So we have the elbows at least underneath or slightly forward. The more forward the elbows are to the shoulders, the more the core infrastructure is engaged. So you know your body, you know what feels secure. Find that spot for you. We're going to bring the fingers widely set to the floor. We're going to take our chest and let it fall in between the arms. We're going to take the back of the head, make it long. And while we keep the knees on the earth, I'd like you to hollow out the belly and kind of round the back. And then relax, extend out. And do that a couple more times. Pulling up, arching the back, extending out. Arching the back, pulling up, extending out, holding, and then lower the hips down to the earth, and then raise them back up. As you raise up, I like you to hollow out the belly, which is not really sucking in the belly button. It's really kind of engaging all that muscle structure to pull the belly button up and into the body. Lower down, raise up, down, up, hold up, pull your hips up to the sky, flex that spine, let the head fall. As you inhale, extend everything long, come all the way down onto your mat. Pull your hands beside the body. We're going to keep our face elevated off the earth. With the nose looking down. Let's take the back of the head, pull it to the sky. Let's take the elbows, squeeze them to the body. And let's take the spine and let's make it long by crowding out the chest. Remember to keep breathing. This is a lot of pressure on our rib cage. So if you need to kind of back off some of the pressure, you can use your arms to help offset. This is really a spinal extension, spinal decompression we're working on right now. Pull the head long, pull the back of the head to the sky. Keep that chest nice and proud. Now, while we hold this, I'd like you to try to pull your belly button off your mat. Try to find those muscles. Try to work at that. It's almost like activating the cough muscle. So if you cough, you felt that muscle moving, that's the one I want you to activate. Try to pull with that. And then lower back down. You bring your hands underneath the chin and let the forehead rest upon the hands. Nice. Now, rock your hips left to right. Now loosen up. All of that musculature we're just working. And when you're ready, let's bring a towel. I'm going to use my mat. And let your forehead just kind of drop down and be the resting spot. Now, I want you not to push the forehead into the earth. I want you to just let it sit upon whatever you have, towel, mat, floor. And I'd like you to take your right hand, bring it on the back of the head. And I'd like you to bring the left hand up on top. And again, this is not to apply force to the head. It's just positioning on top. So, while we hold in this position, I'd like you to take the right elbow, and raise it into the air, and then switch it for the left. Now, some of this might be more problematic for others. So, if this provides aggravation, the modification for this is to do it in child's pose. So we can go to child's pose as we alternate from side to side. Again, I always like to practice decompression. And it's just more or less to create awareness that if you're pushing your head into the mat, I don't want you to do that. Let's do it a couple more times, each side, and then bring your hands back down underneath the shoulders. Take your head up off of its resting spot. Push with the arms, like a push-up, and pull up and back the hips. Separate the knees nice and wide. Keep your toes tucked under this time. As you grip back the hips, walk the hands forward. We're going to try and keep elevated from the earth our forearms, our head, and the upper body. Now, range of motion in the shoulders. And try to take the chest and crowd it out towards the earth. And draw the hips backwards as you walk the fingertips forward. Again, if we're compressing anywhere, I want you to tell that area to relax. A couple breaths. When you're ready, walk the hands back. And then I'm going to come to a seated position. Lie down.
Yes.
On our backsides. Yes. Yes.
My favorite.
Yes, but it's not nap time, okay, so forget that. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Now, let's take your feet and plant them in by your butt. And then keep the feet separated about hip width apart. Let's take your head and grow it long. Imagine someone like standing behind you, just gonna pull the head long. In fact, you can almost do the same thing with your hands, just by wrapping underneath the head and then like pulling a little bit and get it nice and relaxed. We're gonna rotate the chin, and that means the head overall to the right. Gonna hold out here for a couple breaths. Just feel relaxing thoughts as I talk with my gravelly voice. Roll back up to face up. Reposition the neck and then take it down to the left side and hang out for a couple breaths. And come back up. Tuck your chin into the chest. And then lower the back of the head gently down. Let's do that a couple more times, tucking in. See if you can lift or peel the upper vertebrae of your spine, which is your cervical spine, your neck, up off the earth. Let's do it one more time. Peel up and then roll it back down. Extend both legs into the sky like we practiced earlier. So if you have a bend in the knee, try to drive those heels up and remove as much of that bend as you can. Now, pelvic positioning. I'd like you to move forward and backwards the legs and feel what happens in your low back. Skin sensation of the low back is what I'm asking you to focus on. So you pull the legs forward, you'll feel that skin pop up, sorry. I want you to find that skin connected. That's your lumbar extension. I can keep the legs driving to the sky. Keep the straightness of the legs as best you can. Keeping that position of the legs as best you can as you reach your hands towards your toes. So peel up the upper vertebrae of the spine as you pull up and then lower back down. So your six-pack muscles, the muscle that's enabling the majority of this to happen. It allows us to have that nice movement pattern. And then we have a lot of other muscles for the core that are active as we reach up. Now let's reach up, hold up. Try to get a little higher, and then relax it all back down. Lower the legs, extend them all the way out. I know we're going to start into some stretching right now. Just a little bit of six-pack muscle activation, just to start off your Sunday. Take your arms behind your head. Let's reach in both directions. Fingertips and toes pulling opposites. While the arms fall, corkscrew them a little bit. Rotate them down, around, just kind of rotating from side to side. It's more of an arm rotation exercise. And then hold with the palms facing, pull with the fingers. See if you can pull those shoulders up towards the hands. And then drop down the shoulders, pull the hands back up over the chest, drop your head into the chest, and Pilates step. Oh my goodness, we better work those muscles today. Come all the way up and dive down and extend the spine as you inhale. And as you exhale, let the upper body just kind of pull down, spine flex, head just hangs out. Enjoy a nice stretch for the posterior muscles of your body. Take another couple of breaths. Inhale, extend the spine. Strip the body back to a seated position, stack pose. Sprout out the chest. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, bring hands over hearts. On the next breath in, let me thank you for your great work today. I appreciate you being here.
Or not.
Or not.
Never say.
Yeah.
We hope
Sue
you're all in your world
Wow.
travels are having a great time.
and
There'll be a test about this class after, so make sure
Yeah.
you do it.
multiple choice.